At the beginning of the class, someone asked that a baby has fallen down over there, is it?
No, sir.
No? Okay, so how many species are there in this world? You may ask you that, sir, it's a language class, it is not a biology class. Yes, I know that it's a language class, that means SLA, second language acquisition. Apart from that, that is, human beings are a kind of a species, yeah? The name of human being, species name is Homo sapiens. And like Homo sapiens, how many species are there in this world? Human being is a kind of a species. Mammals are also a kind of a species. The trees are also a kind of a species. And also many species are there, is it? And whenever it will be the species, that means an elephant, is it? Elephant is a mammal. स्तन्यपायी प्राणी. And also whale is also a mammal, largest mammal. Elephant is also a largest animal. And rhinos also big size mammals, is it? Hippos. In case of mammals, every species will have brain, is it? Human brain is smaller in size, this size, 1 kg or half kg. But an elephant brain large, 10 kg. And but there is a difference between the brain of an elephant and the brain of a human being. What is the difference?
Once is developed and arise.
There is a difference, is it?
Yes.
This computer has a brain. Hard memory and soft memory. That means hard disks and soft disks. So it has a memory. Human being has a memory. An elephant has a memory. But what's the difference between the computer's memory, human being's memory, and an elephant's memory?
Human beings' memory is more creative and developed.
Yeah, that is related to SLA. Every brain will help the concerned species to perform some activities. Human being will be angry, and sometimes an elephant might be angry, and a whale as well. It can also be angry, and their brain can help them to fulfill their activities, several kinds of activities. When they will be hungry, they will be taking food. When they will be angry, they will start jumping. When they will be happy, they will start playing like the human being. But the capacity of human brain is much more better in comparison to the brain of an elephant and the brain of a computer. And the specific division of a brain, when we will be happy, we will start smiling or laughing. Yeah, that is the activity of our brain. There is a portion of our brain that will instigate and we will start laughing. Vice versa, when we will feel sorry, then one portion of our brain will be instigated and we will start crying or sobbing, is it? Crying mane haumau kore kada, or sobbing mane holo fish kore kada. Like that. Okay. Same activities will be done in case of the memory and the brain of an elephant. Not the computer memory will be there. Computer will not cry and laugh. So in every brain there is a portion that will be instigated with the feelings. Okay? And this man, he said that as like the part of the brain, there is a part of our brain that is called language sensitive brain, and the part that is related to our laughing or our feelings, another part is also responsible for the language learning devices. So broadly speaking, there is a part of human brain that is very much language concerned. That part is responsible for learning language, and this part is absent in elephant's brain. This part is absent in a whale's brain. Okay, and that part is called LAD, that means language acquisition device. In our previous class, we learned behaviorist theory of SLA. Skinner said that language learning is a form of behavior. But in this class, this person, Noam Chomsky, he said, no, language is not a form of our behavior. Language is a part of an action of human brain, and that is a spontaneous activity of human brain that they can learn language. And this theory is called the Innatist theory of language learning, or the rationalist theory of language learning, or the another name is it has, that is Nativist theory of language learning. Nativist theory of language learning. So it has several names: Innatist theory, Nativist theory, Rationalist theory, or Mentalist theory. And all are the same. What it is that we learn language, human beings learn language with the activity of a faculty of human brain. It is not the activities of social interaction or like that. It is not like a form of our behavior. Okay, as explained by Skinner in his behaviorist theory of second language acquisition. So this second language learning or acquisition theory prescribed by American linguist Noam Chomsky, that this language learning is a common phenomenon, and we learn naturally with the activity of human brain, and we learn language. That means a child is born with that power, that innate power, and for this reason this theory is called Innatist theory of language learning. And children get that ability from their birth. This language learning theory is innate, and they will start performing after our birth, and we will learn language. Okay, And he said, in which way this theory works? He said, that means Noam Chomsky said, that means gradually we will learn language, but after the birth, in our brain, LED is there. Okay? So after the birth, the child will learn language naturally. Noam Chomsky said no. There are several stages of language sensitive portion of our brain. He said there are several stages of language learning. Okay? And these are called babbling stage, holophrastic or one word stage, the two word stage, and the telegraphic stage. Babbling stage is that stage that at the time that the children, after getting birth, they will just producing the ba sound. Okay, not very significant, but they produce a kind of sound, and that stage is called the babbling stage. That means the child will try to utter a sound. Okay. This stage called in this stage they can't produce a meaningful sound. Just they will produce a kind of sound. That stage is called babbling stage. And apart from that, another stage is that called holophrastic stage. And in this stage, they will be uttering the words like Baba, Ma. Okay, one word. Meaningful word. And that stage is called one word stage. Up to several data, but they can't produce Abba. That means যুক্ত অক্ষর তারা এই স্টেজে উচ্চারণ করতে পারে না. So one word stage they can produce, children can produce in this stage, and that stage is called holophrastic or one word stage. Okay, and the third stage is called two word stage, and that stage is it starts up to 19 months and goes up to 26 months, and that stage they can characterize a myth of utterance, two more things. Okay. Ami jai, ami khabu, ami bhalu. Two words like that. Try to create some words, and that stage is called two word states, and that goes up to 2.25 years. Okay. And the last stage in this, that is called telegraphic stage, occurs around the age 1 and 2 years. And in this stage, children begin stringing more than two words together. Okay, they can make their word larger. That means ami bhat khabo, ami bari jabo, ami khomabo. Okay, they can produce that is in that stage the more meaningful sentences. Okay, ability, they will learn that ability in that stage. So these are the 26 মাসে ভ্যারি করে 14 মাস থেকে 16 মাস থেকে শুরু করে 26 মাস টু ওয়ার্ড. ওকে, টু ওয়ার্ড এবং মিনিংফুল কনভোকেশন থেকে তারা করতে পারে, বাট তারপরে বলছে যে টেলিগ্রাফিক স্টেজে তারা ফুল সেন্টেন্স উচ্চারণ করতে পারে. So base thing is that in this theory there is no form of behavior. Previously we have learned that is language learning is a sort of behavior. After getting birth, every child is exposed to the language learning environment. That means the child will see a thing and they will try to perform the habit of eating, habit of washing the hand. In the same way, language learning is a form of habit that Skinner said, that is language learning is a form of behavior. This theory is totally contradictory to that theory. That means language learning is not a sort of behavior, it is a sort of our human brains. That human brain develops gradually and they will be picking up the sentences and words and language according to their ages, okay, with the help of their brain. So what does the linguistic data work over here? Okay. So here he said that actually it is not a matter of behavior. After getting birth, if a child put aside, and if we keep that child 1 year in isolation, জন্ম লাভের পরে একটা শিশুকে আমরা 1 বছর রাখলাম, তার সাথে আমরা কোনো কথা বলবো না, চমস্কি থিওরি অনুযায়ী তো তার ব্রেন আছে, গ্রাজুয়ালি তো সে ভাষা শিখবে না কেন? Chomsky answered that actually that child has the part, but that part should be triggered. Trigger, you know, in a revolver or gun, you will see there is a ball. Trigger. Push. If you push or pull the trigger, then there goes the pressure meter and the arm will start working. Okay. In the same way, if we keep a child 1 year in isolation, that child's brain, that means the language sensitive brain, LED, will not be triggered. So how will be the trigger? Here he said that language data will be the trigger of here. That means he or she, the child, will get language, and that language data will create a push as a trigger to the language sensitive portion of human brain, and they will learn language. Okay, so trigger will play the vital role in case of second language learning situations. In this way, Innatist theory say that language learning or language is an innate capability of every child, and it is an inborn process we will be learning. But apart from that, in case of behaviorist theory, they say that it is a part of our behavior. Language is not a behavior according to Innatist theory of language learning, rather a specific mental process or the process of our brain. It is not a sort form of behavior. Actually, language learning is not a matter of our behavior according to Innatist theory of language learning. It is a form, mental form, or the activities of our brain according to Innatist theory. Children learn language by applications. Applications of what? Applications of their language sensitive portion of their brain, that is LED. After getting language data, the LED will be triggered, and they will, that means children will apply their language sensitive portion of their brain, and they will learn language. In no way it is a part of our behavior. That means the quite contradictory, not quite, totally contradictory to the behaviorist theory of language learning. And language learning is analytical and generative creation through the natural and process of the human being. It will be learned, and the role of exposure to the language is quite vital. I have said that yes, if you put a child in isolation, it will not learn any language, and it will learn a language when it will be exposed to a language learning or language in the environment. Then the language will be working as an input, as a trigger to the LED, and they will learn language naturally. And for this reason, this theory is called that innatist theory of language learning. And this innatist or mentalist theory developed by Chomsky, and in 1960 decades, that is, this behaviorist theory of language learning was challenged by Chomsky. Okay. And here the language data that will work as a trigger to the language sensitive portion is in SLA, is called input in that term. That means input means language input. Previously we have talked about input. So input is necessary for language learning. In Skinner's perspective, he said that we will get behavior and the social norms as our input, but here Noam Chomsky said that the language, any sort of language will trigger our brain. But input is important both in behaviorist theory in SLA and also, but the basic difference is that Skinner said that it is a form of behavior, and Noam Chomsky said it is a activity of inborn capability of every child. That is the difference. Okay. Yes, ওই থিওরিকে চ্যালেঞ্জ করেই এটা এসছে। ওকে, দ্যাট মিনস বিহেভিয়ারিস্ট থিওরি যখন ফ্লারিশ করে স্কিনার, তার অপোজিট রিয়াকশন হিসেবেই নম চমস্কি বলেন যে সে নো, ইট ইজ নট আ পার্ট অফ আওয়ার বিহেভিয়ার, ইট ইজ আ পার্ট অফ আওয়ার হিউম্যান ব্রেন। ওকে, so Noam Chomsky's mentalist theory is a reaction to the behaviorist theory of SLA. Whenever we will be studying mentalist theory or the Chomsky's innatist theory, you have to have discuss in comparison to the behaviorist theory of language learning. And in every way, input is important. Okay, but the basic difference is that the one says that it is a form of our behavior, but Chomsky said it is a form of our brain, inborn capability. Okay, so there may be several arguments. What are the which one will be working or as the input? Okay, several kinds of input will be there. Krashen said that input should be understandable. That is called comprehensible input. Okay, that means the input that will not be interesting by the children or the learner, that input cannot play a vital role in second language acquisition. Input should be interesting and comprehensible. Whenever it will be interesting, you will try to pay attention to the language data and you will learn the language. Okay, so there are some strength of this theory. What are the theory? That is, it is the knowledge that children worldwide reach language milestone at about the same time developmentally. Okay, so we make an analogy that if it is the form of a behavior or form of our age, then every child of every language will learn language in a quite similar time. A Bengali speaking child will learn language within 1 to 2 years, and even a Chinese speaking child will be learning language is the quite similar time. And all other languages, for all other languages, children will be learning the language in quite similar time. That is the strength. That means language learning is a common and natural phenomenon. Every child will learn language sequentially and gradually with their power that they have inherited from their birth. That is, and language also processed through similar stages in the acquisition of language, and only humans can produce language. So these are the form of strength. That means previously that thinking was not thought by another linguist, because Skinner thought about behavior, but it is Noam Chomsky who thought it and said it that language learning occurs gradually with the action of our brain. That is the new outlook of second language acquisition. So what is LED? We have talked about that. LED is the language acquisition device. And you may ask, that means where does LED stand? Noam Chomsky didn't answer it quite quietly in which portion of our brain the LED stage. Actually, the biological science may be investigating the portion that in which portion the language learning device will stay. There is no clear cut in that answer. But Noam Chomsky said that in somewhere of the human brain this part exists in the human brain, and for the performance of this LED we learn language. Okay. And it is possible that children have the inborn capability to follow certain grammatical principles, and their acquisition of words depend crucially on their environment. Okay, so Noam Chomsky not only said the language sensitive portion, he also said that the human brain also contains the grammatical structure of a language to the human brain. Where had you been? What's the time, please? Huh? If you mistake the same thing again and again, and if you say sorry sir, so what I will do? One day I will be intended to tell you sorry then. কোথায় ছিলেন আপনি? You are very rich. You have taken so many food. আপনি খাওয়া দাওয়া করেন আর জিমে যান আর যেখানে যান, ক্লাস উইল বি টু। হ্যাঁ, সরি, হ্যাঁ, তো মার্শাল্লাহ হচ্ছে পরের দিন আমাদেরকেও স্টাইলে নিয়ে যান, আমরাও আপনাদের সাথে খেয়ে একসাথেই ক্লাসটা শুরু করতে পারবো। ওকে, খাওয়া দাওয়া করেছেন বেশ ভালো। এবার ভালো ভালো এখন কথা বন্ধ করেন। ওকে, এবং আমরা যে স্টেজে আছি, try to keep attention about that. So language learning is an activity of human brain, and we were in that portion. That means we learn language with the activity of our brain, and simultaneously we learn the structure of a language with the activity of our brain as well. This occurs, this enhances a question. That means every child will be born in a same language criteria. So, what is the structure? Noam Chomsky said that structure, not only the language sensitive portion will active, but the structure, a language structure is also included in human brain. So how it will be possible that so many structure will be contained by a child's brain? He answers, Noam Chomsky answers that English children learn English because their language acquisition support system is English. Okay. Yes. So,
it's called rational learning.
খাওয়া দাওয়া করে আসছেন তো, আপনারা তো আগের জায়গাগুলো ছিলেন না, ঠিক আছে? এই জন্য আপনারা অনেক বেশি স্ট্রেংথ পেয়েছেন, কিন্তু এই জন্য ওই মাঝে মাঝে ঢোকার চেষ্টা করেন না, কারণ যারা প্রথম থেকে আছে তারা বোঝার চেষ্টা করছে, ঠিক আছে? সো আমরা এই জায়গায় আছি যে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ লার্নিং ইজ আ ফর্ম অফ আওয়ার বিহেভিয়ার, And okay, we have got the strength, that is language learning. Gradually we will learn language, human species will learn language for the action of their brain. And but our question is that Noam Chomsky also said that our brain contains a structure of a language. There we ask the question that how much it is possible that human brain will be understanding the structure of so many languages of the world. There Noam Chomsky answered that when a child will be born in a English language learning system, his language sensitive will be similar to the structure of English language. So that question again answered that we human being, we have brain, and every child's brain contains that language learning device, and that device will be triggered by language data, and they will learn language genetically from their birth, following this stage like babbling stage, holophrastic stage, one stage, and two word stage or telegram stage. Got the point? Yes.
Sir, I mean, if you ভুল বুঝছি না এটা আমি সুমন স্যার আপনি যখন ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ স্ট্রাকচার আমি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ স্ট্রাকচার বলতে ব্রেইনের সাইন্টিফিক যেটা হচ্ছে যে আপনি যখন বলছেন জেনেটিক্যালি স্ট্রাকচার আছে ইংলিশ স্ট্রাকচারটা জেনেটিক্যালি আছে এটা আমাদের যেখানে জন্ম নেই ওখানে আমরা যে এনভায়রনমেন্টে রাখবো এই ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ স্যার এই কথা শোনার মনে হচ্ছে যে ওই ইংলিশ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ শিখতে গেলে স্যার জেনেটিক্যালি জিনিসটা লাগবে
জি নো সমস্ত ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ শেখার জন্য হচ্ছে একটা স্ট্রাকচার যে লাগবে নো নট সেম। নম চমস্কি সেড আমাদের ব্রেনের মধ্যে ভাষা শেখার জন্য যে একটা পোর্শন আছে, সাইমেলটেনিয়াসলি প্রত্যেকটা ভাষার স্ট্রাকচার শেখার জন্য একটা ক্যাপাবিলিটি সেখানে প্রত্যেকটা হিউম্যান চাইল্ডের ব্রেনের মধ্যে আছে, যেটা কিনা আমরা বলছি এলইডি। ওকে, সো দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ সেন্সিটিভ ব্রেন। তো সেক্ষেত্রে আমরা প্রশ্ন করলাম যে হোয়াট ইজ দ্য স্ট্রাকচার অফ বাংলা ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ অ্যান্ড হোয়াট ইজ দ্য স্ট্রাকচার অফ ইংলিশ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ। ইন দ্যাট কেস Noam Chomsky answered that in which environment the child will born, input, that means language will be working as a trigger, and that trigger will activate the system relating to the language where the child is born. Okay, so that is Innatist theory of language learning. Okay, and there are some disadvantages of this theory that I have started. That is, human brain contains LED. Okay, where does it exist? Okay, so there is a lack of scientific evidence to support the theory, and also first time Noam Chomsky said that it is an action of our human brain, we have got this, and second time he said that we have a grammar structure in our brain, and for this reason it is one of the limitations of Noam Chomsky's theory, that overemphasis on grammar in sentence structure. Okay, that means again, so language learning will be done with the action of our brain, and simultaneously we will be learning the grammar of every language based on the grammar portion that is your brain. That is also another limitations of this innatist theory of language learning, that everything cannot be done with the help of our brain. Okay, not enough information of how children construct meaning from their sentences. Okay, another limitations, that is, okay, we learn language. Okay, actually they will be learning one word, two words, three words. Okay, and they will also try to imitate or try to invent new language. So যে ওয়ার্ডগুলো একটা চাইল্ড 2 বছরে শুনবে এবং ট্রিগার্ড হয়ে সে সেই জিনিসগুলোই কথা বলা শুরু করবে, এর বাইরেও তো শিশুরা হচ্ছে অনেক নতুন নতুন শব্দ বলে, এই শব্দগুলো তো হচ্ছে তাহলে সে কিভাবে ইনভেন্ট করে? হ্যাঁ, এখানে তো সে তো ট্রিগার পায় নাই। ওকে, সো দেয়ার ইজ অ্যানাদার also lack of scientific invention, scientific investigation, that where it is and another thing is that we have said and we are happy with the explanation that language learning is an action of human brain. If it is so, that every child of every language will be learning language in a quite similar time. That means 1 to 2 years or 2 to 3 years. If it is so that in some cases having every normal activities of their brain, some child gets delay to produce the language. Okay, that is called the Down syndrome of language production. Okay, they are 3 years of age, but they are not uttering a sentence. They are in telegraphic stage, but they are not uttering the sentence. What is the condition? His brain is inactive. It is doing every activities, but it is not producing the language. Okay, so here we can make an analogy that yes, Noam Chomsky's theory says that language learning is a form of our brain, but still we have to put the cognition of Skinner's behaviorist language theory that we have learned in our previous classes. That is, everything will not be done according to our brain activities. However, behavior, imitation, the caregivers, that is play a vital role. That is also the limitations. That is, this theory relies children being exposed to language but takes no account of the interaction between children and their carers. Okay, so Noam Chomsky talks about the human brain and the language sensitive brain of human child or human being, that is LED, and also the UG, that is the universal grammar, that every child will be containing that part, that is universal grammar and LED. So if it is so that why we are talking with our child, যেই বাচ্চার সাথে এখন আমাদের দেশে বাবা মা দুজনেই চাকরি করেন, সো বাচ্চাকে সময় দেওয়ার মতো সময় নেই। এই বাচ্চাগুলোর কথা শিখতে দেরি হয়। কেন দেরি হয়? বাবা মা তার সাথে যেভাবে কথা বলবে, ইন্টারাকশন করবে বা অন্য কেয়ার গিভারে যেভাবে করবে, অন্যেরা কেউ করবে না। So in Noam Chomsky's theory, that portion is omitted. That Noam Chomsky simply talks about UG, that means the universal grammar, and ALT, that means language acquisition device. He didn't talk much about the caregivers. That means the parents or the neighbor or something else. That means that in language learning situation, okay, brain plays a vital role. Simultaneously, we have to admit that the parents, the person with whom a child will be interacting, their language also play a vital role for language learning devices. So it is one of the limitations also of Noam Chomsky's theory of innatism or innatist theory of language learning. You wanted to say something?
No, sir, I just wondered because I was just stuck.
Oh, okay, no problem. Actually, again, we can. One of the strength is that before this theory, we were in that portion. That means Skinner's view that language learning is a portion of our habit. That means we will be learning all languages with the help of our behavior. So we will be learning language through the sort of our behavior. But this is the first time Noam Chomsky introduced that human brain play a vital role for language acquisition. So in that portion, this portion is actually okay, but yes, so that is the portion. That means Chomsky's আগে এরকম ভাবে কেউ দেখে নাই. So that is the good one point, that positive sides of Noam Chomsky's theory of innatism. But other thing, again, we may question. That means actually it is not only exclusively the action of our human brain that you will be learning language. And for this reason, we have so many psychological theories relating to SLA. So we have got two theories. One theory is contradictory to another theory. Next time we will be getting another theory that will again be contradicting with this one. That is the phenomena of the investigation of second language acquisition. And why? Because at this moment we feel the necessity that we have to learn language. And linguists, researcher, even anthropologists and psychologists, they tried their best to offer us the way we can learn language quite effectively and quite scientifically. Okay, so Noam Chomsky's Innatist theory is called Nativist theory, also Rationalist theory, also Mentalist theory. Why? Because Noam Chomsky said that we learn language for the cause of our brain, because in our brain there is a portion that is called language sensitive portion, that is called LED. Where does it exist? He said that somewhere in the brain, and with the help of LED every child will be learning language following 4 stages, that is the babbling stages, holoplastic stage, one word stage, and telegraphic stage. Okay, Turcho?
স্যার এই নন চমস্কি যে স্পেসগুলো বলছে, এই স্পেসগুলোর মধ্যে একটা নতুন কিছু দেখেছি। এই স্পেসগুলো একটু বেশি ইনফরমেটিভ মনে হচ্ছে, একটু বেশি প্রিসাইজ মনে হচ্ছে।
Yes.
আর আদার্স স্যার আমাদের পার্সোনালি রাখলে আমি
Nativist creative.
স্কিনারের থিওরি মানুষ।
It's your portion. It's your portion, but all the linguists তারা নম চমস্কিকে কনগ্রাচুলেট করেছে এরকম আইডিয়া দেওয়ার জন্য। Okay, so it is about nativist theory or innatist theory of second language learning. Okay, and of course there are some drawbacks and limitations of innatist theory, like all other theories in SLA. Okay, so with this we can say that Noam Chomsky's second language acquisition theory is a good one. With that we can also be happy that yes, we can learn language with the help of our brain, and also we can also understand that among all the species only human being can produce language. Other mammals or other species, they have brain but they don't have LED, and this LED we have got from our birth by our creator. And for this reason we should clap for Noam Chomsky that he said that language learning is a activity of our brain. Okay. So any questions?
Any language acquisition, any types of language, or just
All
any
types,
language?
every second language learning or any actually second language acquisition. In first class we have said that
Second language cannot be
actually the title of our course, that is second language acquisition.
Yeah, the
Okay.
title is wrong.
Native language এর ফার্স্ট ট্রিগার হিসেবে কাজ করে। এখানে যে স্টেজ পাইলাম আমাদের তো সেকেন্ড ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে তো কম পাওয়া যায়।
Yeah, because the investigation is that was done in the first 2 or 3 classes. That means second language learning, if that second language learning can be quite similar to the second language acquisition, just like the language learning of a child, that would be effective. And for this reason the title of the course is not wrong. It is consciously done, that second language acquisition. If language learning would be quite similar to language acquisition, then foreign language learning and second language learning will be effective. And for this reason we are getting the theories relating to the child language learning. Okay, because child language learning is called language acquisition.
এই থিওরিতে যে একটা প্রশ্ন করা হচ্ছে যে বাচ্চারা তার উপর একটা ওয়ার্ড শিখে গুরু থেকে পায়, তো এটা থেকে আমার জিনিস মনে পড়ছে বাঙালি বাচ্চারা সবার প্রথম যে জিনিসটা শিখে সেটা হচ্ছে তো এটা স্যার ওরা আগে বলেন আগে বাবা বাবা এগুলো বলে।
না শীষ কোন দেশের ভাষা শীষ শেখে?
আমার বাচ্চারা কোনো জিনিস
বাচ্চা বাচ্চা লাগে
অটোমেটিক্যালি করে অথবা সুইচ করে